back to Glue Garage, back today with another unboxing video. This one is the Aoshima Kenmeri Skyline 4-door Grand Champion Edition, or Grachan Edition. These kits are part of the Grand Champion or Grachan range of kits by Aoshima. It's all these sort of Kaido racer style cars from the 70s and 80s with the slam suspension, big aero parts, and that sort of generally unique kind of Kaido racer style. I believe the Grand Champion name, or the Grachan name, comes from the Grand Champion race series in Japan in the 80s, although these cars look more like the super silhouette cars of that era and not the Grand Champion cars, which were more your GT1 sort of Le Mans style prototype cars. So we'll take a quick little look at the box. So it's lovely artwork on the box there. I really love the way the car's been represented on there. Front end, it's very reminiscent of sort of 70s American muscle cars. You can tell the Japanese car industry was trying to emulate a lot of the American cars of the time. The front end's got very Dodge Challenger sort of style front grille and lights. Then on the bottom here we've got a little note of the extra parts here. Get your chin spoiler. It's got mirrors on the doors instead of, they would be fender mounted normally in this car. Get your SSR Mark II wheels, I believe these are. I think the Mark IIs are the 4-spoke and the Mark IIIs are the 5 or 6 spoke. And you've got your spoiler at the back there. Also get a little picture of some of the other cars in this range. So you've got your Skyline Japan 2-door, your Celica 1600 GT, and I believe that's your Nissan Cedric 2 at the bottom there. There's quite a few cars in this range. There must be about 10-15 different kits in the Grand Champion range. Again, it's just the same artwork repeated on the side here. Your usual warnings, list of paints that you need, and the other side it's pretty much the same again. So I'll get this box opened up and we can take a look inside and see what's in this box. Right, got the box opened up, got all the bags opened, so we will start off by looking at the decals. Now this kit is quite an old tooling from the 1982 I believe, according to Scalemates. So we'll see what condition this is in. Usually when these kits are like really old toolings, the quality's not the greatest, but we're about to find out. So we'll start off with the decals. So you can see here there's a few different number plate options. These sort of larger ones and the smaller ones, and some various sort of Japanese decals there. I'm not really sure what they say. And got some Kenwood and Pioneer decals there for your stereo. And this huge black decal, which I have noticed that a lot of these Grand Champion kits come with this big decal, but I'm not really sure what it's for. If anybody knows what these decals are for, it doesn't mention anything in the instruction manual, and I've seen various kits come with different colours and stuff with these big decals. I don't know if it's for doing carpets or seat belts, or I'm not really sure. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments. Obviously I've noticed there that we have no dials or dashboard decals, so this might be a case of painting the dials. So let's have a look at the instruction manual. Got just your standard Aoshima instruction manual there. Paint colours and stuff. Not a lot of paint colours in this. I think it's just white, red, silver, flat black, wood brown, clear red, clear orange. But obviously you can do your own thing with this. Detail it up. So very similar to other Skylines of this vintage. I think they use the same chassis as a lot of the other sort of early Skylines. Parts list here. So first piece of plastic we have got the chassis. Now this is obviously from an electrified kit, as most of these early 80s toolings are. So you can see here, this little slot would be where a switch would go. I'll show you the back there as well. Looks like there's holes for switches or batteries or whatever to go through there. It's relatively nicely detailed, very shallow moulding right enough, but you've got gearbox and oil pan moulded in there. Looks like brake lines too, and your rear differential. This is actually fairly detailed for the age of this tooling. Usually they're a lot more simple than this. Get your drive shaft and exhauster, separate parts, and your spare wheel well, fuel tank, also separate parts, which is good. Yeah, very shallow moulding, but relatively detailed for what it is. Next up we have got the clear parts. So the Kenmeri came in a few different versions. You had sort of facelifted versions, some of them come with round headlights, some with square, and you do get the option in this kit to build it either way. And your main window glasses, sort of drivers and passenger side front windows have got those recesses, so it makes it easy to cut out if you want to have the car look like it's got the window down. Next sprue we have, this is a combination of interior parts, and you've got your front and rear light options. So get your two front grills and your two rear light options. A couple of wing mirrors there. Guessing these are chassis parts here. This being a former motorised kit, you usually get some kind of strange parts for the attaching batteries and motors and stuff. Got your rear seats there. It's got that kind of vinyl texture to it. Some sort of dimples there. It shouldn't be too hard to fill in. There's another suspension part here. I believe these are speakers to go on the door cards. Two license plate holders which look really big compared to some other kits. Got two front seats there. Gear lever, steering column and handbrake. A little bit of flash there on some of the parts. Need cleaned up. And you've got your sort of racing bucket seat. Again, a little bit of flash around the edges. And you've got your stereo units here. Speakers for the parcel shelf. Centre console pieces. Next sprue, you have all your electrified parts that you will not need. Your centre console there. Two steering wheel options. Some more rear view mirrors. Front and rear bumpers. We'll just get this to focus. Now the front and rear bumpers are supposed to be chromed along with sections of the front and rear grille, but they don't come chromed. There's very few chrome parts in this kit. And you've got two wheel options here too. You've got your sort of traditional steel wheels, and then you've got your Watanabes as well. They're very small, I would say they're probably about 14-inch. And the only problem is the tyres that come with this kit don't fit on these wheels, they're a bit too big. That's sprue there. Next up, more interior parts and chassis parts. So we've got the door cards. Looks to be the rear parcel shelf. Get your window wipers there too. Looks to be the rear subframe. Dashboard with no decals. And those recessed dials are insanely tricky to paint. Yep, they're going to be a bit of a challenge to paint. We've got another centre console here, another subframe piece, more suspension parts, got another steering column and steering wheel, front wheel hubs. I think these two parts here on the 22 and 21, these are for lowering the suspension, I believe, at the rear. Another handbrake and gear lever. Got what looks to be the rear wheel well for your spare tyre, or it could be the fuel tank. More steering, more license plate parts. That'll be your on-off switch from the electrified days. Some more chassis parts and a full-length separately moulded exhaust. And in the centre here, got another front grille, drive shaft and steering rack, and what looks to be more electrified parts at the back here, and a clock and buttons for your dashboard. Next up we have a couple of spoiler options here. So you've got the one that would be depicted on the box art, which is this one, or you can have a sort of Ducktail style spoiler by fitting this one. I think I might go with the Ducktail spoiler when I'm building this. I think it would look pretty cool. And you've also got your chin spoiler for going under your front bumper. Next up we have your door mirrors, which is about the only part other than the wheels that are moulded in chrome. So you need to hope that you're good at getting your chrome stuff looking right for doing those front bumpers and front grille. Next up I've put the wheels, the tyres onto the wheel hubs, so you've got those cambered style stretched wheels, and then you've got your wheel centres too. Now there's two variations of this kit, and this is probably the reason why I went for this one, because the other kit had the same wheels but they were one piece. I actually went for this kit because it makes painting those wheel centres a lot easier. You can just paint these separately and pop them in the centre there, whereas when it's one piece you have to try and mask everything off to paint your wheel centres, and sometimes it can be a bit of a headache. So there's a very similar kit with the purple car on the box, and there's only a couple of differences. I think the other kit comes with some more chrome parts, but yeah, they're not too dissimilar. And then last but not least, we've got the body shell. It's kind of hard to pick up with the red, moulded in red, which means if you're doing it any other colour than red, you're going to want to prime this pretty well so you don't get any red shining through. So you get Skyline GT badges moulded in. So you could paint this bottom section here with the radiator and stuff if you wanted to do a bumperless car. Your bonnet can be removed if you were going to put an engine in it. It's only held on in a couple of spots. Mould lines wise, just the usual kind of thing, so it's got them running all the way along, up your A-pillar and then along the roof, down the back and into the back corner. So they're quite long mould lines, but they're pretty easy to see and shouldn't be too hard to get off. There's quite a heavy bit on this top corner here, and there's a couple of sort of rougher edges along the sills. The camera's not really picking up too great because the colour of the car. It's actually not too bad shape. I was expecting it to be a bit worse than this because of the age of the tooling, but it's surprisingly clean. So that was the Aoshima Grand Champion Kenmeri Skyline 4-door. Really looking forward to getting into this kit. I've been building quite a lot of race cars recently, and I've got another couple of race cars sitting waiting to get put together. I just wanted to pick something up that was non-race car related, just something to have a wee break from doing a million decals. So yeah, it's a pretty decent kit for the age of it. A little bit of work sort of tidying up some of the parts and stuff like that, the usual kind of flash and stuff, but it's definitely not the worst I've seen of this age. I really like the Grand Champion style cars. I think they look really cool. So yeah, can't wait to get into this. So thanks for watching the video, guys. As always appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, leave a wee comment. Like I say, if you know what those big decals are for, or if you know the sort of connection between the Grand Champion race series and these cars, let me know in the comments. And yeah, remember to check me out on Instagram at @GlowSniffGarage. You can see what I'm up to at the moment. Currently working on the Colin McRae Monte Carlo Rally Super Impreza. almost completed that. So yeah, head on over there, check it out and give me a wee follow, and I will see you in a future video. Cheers, bye.